What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Sports Junkies Podcast. Your boy Kid here, and today we got two topics. But before we get into the topics and everything, the whole status of the video, apparently telling people like to subscribe in front of the video is working. It works. We are at 97 subs. We are 3 subs away from 100 subs, and at 100 subs, we will drop a 100 subscriber giveaway video where we just want to give away a couple of gifts to some of our long-term subscribers who have stuck with us this entire journey. And it's just a great feeling to see us so close to a certain milestone that I didn't expect us to hit this quickly. And it's great to know. I'll save the rest of the sapping for the 100 subscribe video, but it's great to know that people enjoy my sports rambling and what I got to say, and that's always a great feeling. So without further ado, let's get into this video where we're going to talk about the Cleveland Browns today, and then we're going to talk about Trey Lance or Mac Jones, because I've been seeing this debate a lot, and we may even throw Justin Fields in there, but I've been seeing this debate a lot. We've made 2 videos on the channel where we've broken down the college quarterbacks, the first rounders at least. Kellen Mond is not in it, sadly. I'm sorry, but we have put, it was Trey Lance, Mac Jones, Zach Wilson, Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields, I think were the 5 quarterbacks we put in there, and we just kind of compared them. This was a while back when we had another guy on the channel when we were known as the Kid and Cam Podcast, but now we're the Sports Junkies Podcast, the real Sports Junkies Podcast. There are some imposters, okay? Let's get that straight. There are some imposters, and yeah, let's just hop into the video. I feel like okay. All right, so sadly enough, this video is hard for me to make. If you guys don't know, I'm a Steelers fan, and what I'm about to say about the Cleveland Browns is it's hard to say because I don't like this team, but this team is just wowing me every day. Every day I feel like they get better. Every season they've gotten better. This team literally went 0-16 like, what was it, 4 years ago? And just seeing them from then to where they are now, I'm talking, this is how you rebuild a team. The Cleveland Browns right now, I feel like, could be the best team in the AFC. And I know the Chiefs exist. No, I don't know Patrick Mahomes, or no one has died. No, everyone's healthy, everyone's great. But man, you can't listen, and you can't sit here and say that this Cleveland Browns team isn't scary. Okay, they already had a dominant team last season where they could have beaten the Chiefs. And honestly, if they would have beaten the Chiefs, I think that Browns team was winning the Super Bowl. I mean, let's be real here. The Bucs were good, but the Bucs had so much success in that Super Bowl because the Chiefs had a beat up offensive line. The Browns do not have a beat up offensive line. The Browns would have won that. The Browns could have won the Super Bowl. My biggest thing was would the Browns have been able to get past the Bills? That would have been the more, the questionable thing for me. I think if the Browns could have beat the Chiefs, with Patrick Mahomes getting injured, and then they could have beat the Bills, the Browns could have won the Super Bowl easily. And that would have been insane for, it would have killed the whole story about Tom Brady. And, you know how the media is when Tom Brady wins a football game. It's like, oh my goodness, we got to be reminded that this is the greatest football player to ever play the game. Like, yeah, we get it. But I want to see the next man up. And obviously right now we expect it to be the Chiefs. We expect it to be Patrick Mahomes. They have a dynasty there. But to be honest, I don't think it's that simple. I think the AFC is definitely as dangerous as you might think it is. Now, the NFC is right now is easy. It's stagnant. Like the AFC a couple years ago, the AFC had like 1 or 2 good teams that could get to the Super Bowl. Everybody else was terrible. Now it's like the AFC, which used to be like the NFC, where the NFC is in that situation. It's now like the AFC has become the powerhouse. And I'm like, Tom Brady left to go to Tampa. It makes sense. I'm like, when you lose to the Titans, I'm not just trying to say he left because the AFC was getting too good. I'm just saying I feel like he left because, one, his team obviously wasn't getting him the help he needed, but because, let's be real, you can't sit here and say that how powerful the AFC was getting didn't have an effect on him. You had the Chiefs being as dominant as they are. You had the Bills getting better constantly. You have the Dolphins, who look like they could do some damage in about a year or two. You got the Browns now doing what they're doing. The Titans, you know what I'm saying? It was like there's so many teams right now in the AFC that I'm like, this team could potentially be a contender if, they're coached the right way, if they get the right players, if their players perform the right way. These teams can be contenders. And it's like, you can say that for every team, but there's these 5 teams I just named: the Titans, the Chiefs, the Browns, the Bills. These teams have potential to be dangerous. And you know what? I'm gonna throw the Chargers in there. I think the Chargers now, with a new coach, with a franchise quarterback in Justin Herbert, offensive rookie of the year, which we predicted. And hopefully they can add some weapons to their defense and even get Justin Herbert some help on offense. That is another team where I'm like, well, they're dangerous. And then I'm forgetting about the Ravens. The Ravens are another team that I'm looking at. I would say the Steelers, but let's be real, I don't think the Steelers are really a threat. And I'm a Steelers fan, and it hurts me to say that, but I haven't had any luck with any of my sports teams. The Braves are playing like trash. You know what I'm saying? The Steelers are losing all their players. We got Juju back, so I guess that's something to celebrate, whatever. And I've had to sit here and watch the Ravens and the Browns get better every single day while the Steelers are just kind of chilling. I mean, we re-signed Vince Williams, so maybe I can be happy about that. But the Browns just signed the Browns have just signed Jadeveon Clowney, former first overall pick, probably one of the best defensive players we've ever seen from a college standpoint. He is now playing with the stacked Browns. He joins like a pretty good signing with John Johnson, strong safety, 26 years old. He came from the Rams. He joins Troy Hill. He joins Kendall. I'm trolling. He joins Takaris McKinley, who's also going to be on that D line. It's interesting, guys. I just don't know what to say. These guys are having a crazy offseason. Like the Browns, they're adding the pieces they need. They're not just adding things they don't need, because you got to think their offense is already dominant. They're about maybe one weapon, because you've got a quarterback. Okay, no, they don't need any weapons, because I'm thinking maybe they need wide receivers, but I think a lot of people are forgetting that Odell Beckham did not play last season. Like that's the thing about it, is how good this Browns team was. And they didn't even have Odell Beckham. And don't get me wrong, I don't think Odell Beckham's I don't think he's that crazy. I don't think he's game breaking. He's going to, distract. But it's still Odell Beckham. This guy can put up 1,300 yards, on this team, with Baker Mayfield now starting to shine the way he's shining. With Jarvis Landry on the opposite side, you got Austin Hooper at tight end. You got a great offensive line. You signed some great talent on your offensive line. You've got Nick Chubb, that Georgia running back on your roster. I don't see where much can go wrong for this Browns team. A lot of people would think about their defense and needing somebody in the back. Well, you got John Johnson now. Cornerback, you just signed Troy Hill. Maybe they could use another cornerback. You got Denzel Ward still. And now you're talking about Myles Garrett, potential defensive player of the year candidate every season. He's going to be one for probably forever. You signed Takaris McKinley, who didn't really work in Atlanta. He didn't work in Vegas, and maybe he'll work in Cleveland. I'm sure he can't be that bad. You know what I'm saying? I would hope not, after what he did on draft night with the picture of his grandma. You know what I'm saying? I hope he has a career that's great. He's making money though. Let's be real. I mean, even though it's a 1-year deal, so it's $4.5 million or $4.2 million. So I'm like, well, he's doing it. You know what I'm saying? He's not doing it the way I'm pretty sure he wants to, but he's doing it. I don't know what he promised his grandma, what he'd do in the NFL. He made it. So, I mean, maybe that's all that matters, right? But I think you add Jadeveon Clowney to the mix, this team is just getting dangerous. And honestly, I thought they were going to sign J.J. Watt, but surprisingly, he went to the Cardinals, who aren't a contender at all for some reason. He said he wanted to play for a contender, but I'm like, bud, the team for you is the Cleveland Browns. But I get it if you don't want to face your brother twice a year, or your brothers, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it makes total sense to me, but I think this Browns team, there's really no gaps on this team. I don't see anywhere where they're missing anything. I don't see where they need to improve. I think right now the Browns have the best roster in the NFL. I don't know where they're getting the money from. But they have it, and they're spending it. And I'm telling you right now, this Browns team, the sky is the roof. Is that what MJ said? The sky is the roof. I don't think there is a single fault on this team. I think this is an easy W for the Browns. When I talk about the AFC, I think they can easily get to the Super Bowl if this team is just coached the right way, and their coach has definitely Kevin Stefanski. And I've said this for years, even when the Browns were 0-16, I said, look, they're just one coach away from being a great football team, because this team, they have the talent. And they bring in Kevin Stefanski. He knows exactly what he's doing. Boom, this team is great again. I love it. What they did to my Steelers in the playoffs, I won't talk about. I'll ignore it. But, it was great to see, and I wasn't honestly mad at all. I was like, well, I like the Browns. I'm glad they made it and not us, because honestly, we go 11-0 and then finish the season 1-6. So congratulations, Steelers. You suck. But my thing is I think we need. I think the credit has to be given to the Browns. I think this team will do some real damage. There's 18 games a season now. Or wait, what am I trolling? It's 17. It was 16 before. It was 17 weeks, but it's now 17 games because Roger Goodell needs more money than he's already getting. Maybe it's because fans will be, it would be percentage of fans and not full length, but whatever. Yeah, it's going to be 17 games. I think this, I'm going to give my first ever 17 game prediction regular season. I think this team will go 17-0. Okay, let's be real. They should go 17-0. With this roster, I'm telling you, this is the best roster in football. A few years ago, I said it was the Cowboys, but with their coaching and how they handle it, that roster will never be the best. But Kevin Stefanski is bringing the best out of the Cleveland Browns, and I love what I'm seeing from Cleveland, and I think they'll continue to improve. Maybe they'll start off the season a little shaky. That's what's going to happen when you sign picks like this, but this team will improve, and this team will get better, and they ultimately, they're going to find the promised land eventually. And I'm telling you right now, this team will defeat the Chiefs. I'm telling you, with the talent they have, I feel like these teams are equal. Like, the thing that separates the Chiefs is the fact that they have Patrick Mahomes, that guy who can, do so much with the ball. That's the thing that's really separating the Chiefs at this point. That's the only reason I'm giving the Chiefs the edge. The Chiefs do not have the best roster in the NFL. They didn't have the best roster in the NFL when they won the Super Bowl. They have Patrick Mahomes, they have Tyreek Hill, and they have Travis Kelce. That's really what they have. And I'm not even going to add those last two names. I'm simply just going to say they have Patrick Mahomes. We've seen this exact same roster in Kansas City with Alex Smith, and it did not work. So I feel like everyone now knows what you have to do in order to beat the Chiefs. And one, that's get pressure to Patrick Mahomes. That's slow him down, find a way to cut him down a bit, and make him use his legs, and you can win that game easily. And we saw that with Tampa Bay and the Super Bowl champions. So the Browns can definitely do that now that they've added Jadeveon Clowney, and they've added they got Myles Garrett on that D-line. You got Takaris McKinley, who knows what he'll do, but they definitely have the weapons to win. They have the weapons to succeed, and I'm expecting to see them do so, and I'll be happy if they do, even though I'm a Steelers fan and I don't like them at all. But it's going to be real interesting to see what they got, what they got planned. And I want to know what the fans have to think. So guys, let me know as I hop over to this next topic where we kind of compare some draft quarterbacks. But yeah, make sure you guys let me know in the comments what you think about that. But let's talk about Trey Lance, and let's talk about Mac Jones. And like I said, we may throw Justin Fields in here. We'll go over all quarterbacks, but I really want to focus on Trey Lance and Mac Jones because I've seen this topic a lot on ESPN and Sports Center, Bleacher Report. People have been comparing the two, and I know Mac Jones had his pro day. He shined. He looked great. Trey Lance, I haven't seen too much from his pro day. I know he had one, but this is what I look at when I'm looking at these quarterbacks, because a lot of people are thinking like, well, these two guys are going to drop around the 10 to 15 area. So anybody who needs a quarterback around that area will get one of these guys. And I'm going to tell you right now, both of them are great quarterbacks. Neither one of these guys are bad quarterbacks. Mac Jones, the scary thing about Mac Jones is the fact that he played with demigod Devonta Smith. You know what I'm saying? It's like nobody's afraid. Nobody's scared that he can't throw the ball. They're just afraid what he can do on a team that's not going to have as much talent that he just had at Bama. Because I'm like, every wide receiver he just played with at Bama is going to be a first round pick. John Mechie III, Jalen Waddle, Devonta Smith. It's like they're all first round picks. These are all dogs. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not talking about them Georgia dogs, but it's like Mac Jones is a great quarterback. And I said this earlier in a video, for you to be a successful Bama quarterback, all you have to have is a deep ball. And if you have a deep ball, you will succeed. That's why I said, look, Bryce Young, if you have a deep ball, you will succeed at Bama. It's that easy. But now you're going to go to the NFL where it's not going to work like that. You've got to be able to make those short throws. You've got to be able to make those medium throws, and you've got to still be able to make those deep throws, which Mac Jones, get me wrong, has no problem making. His accuracy, pinpoint accuracy on deep balls is fantastic. Honestly, could be some of the best in the draft. I mean, Justin Fields has insane deep ball accuracy too, but I think the thing with Trey Lance is he's a great quarterback. He has the size, he has the readings, but the thing where he lacks the most is the fact that I feel like his accuracy isn't on par with some of these other these other guys, playing on a well, not he's playing. I don't know what I'm saying, but some of these other guys, these other like four guys, and I think that that's the problem, and I feel like people are nervous because the level of talent he played against. We all know who North Dakota State is. You can't name many FCS schools, but everyone knows who North Dakota State is because they win the championship like every season. And I think it was like, what was it about Trey Lance? He in his years as a starter, he threw like 50 touchdowns or something with no interceptions. And then the one game he played this season where it was just really like a one game kind of get some scouts looking at you type game, he literally threw an interception. So now like people might go, oh my God, let's like overreact, over exaggerate. I think Trey Lance right now, when it comes to not wanting to turn the ball over, he will not turn that ball over. I think when it comes to those short and those medium passes, he'll make those no problem. He will have to improve his deep ball accuracy though as time progresses. And that deep ball accuracy is something Mac Jones has. But now I've just picked out the flaws for Trey Lance. Let me tell you the problem with Mac Jones. The problem with Mac Jones is the fact that, like I said, he plays with all first rounders. Quarterbacks for Bama have it quite easy, okay? It's easier to be a quarterback at Bama than it is to be at, let's say, BYU with Zach Jones, or even Mississippi State. We're talking SEC, even not LSU, because we saw Joe Burrow with that talent he had, and it carried over. So, it's not like I'm saying that it won't carry over, because Joe Burrow went to a Bengals team with no talent and still looked like a good quarterback. He didn't look as dominant, obviously, but that's going to happen when you have no O-line and you don't have those receivers like that. Mac Jones will go to a team in the 10 to 15, 10 to 20 range, and that's the best situation for him, considering he's going to go to a team that's not awful, but they're not good either. So they should have maybe, or hopefully they have a few weapons. And I'm looking at the 49ers are looking at him. The Patriots are looking at him. And if he goes to the Patriots, oh God, I pray for him, because one, he won't start instantly. They got Cam Newton, but we don't know how good Cam Newton is. But don't forget, the Patriots did spend a lot of money in free agency, so it's going to be really interesting to see what they do with Cam Newton this season. But I'm getting off topic. Mac Jones, I can't, and it's this thing, it's like it's harder trying to get, though. He kind of lacks that build you'd want from a NFL quarterback. That's really like the biggest flaw with him. And the second flaw is, like I said, I want to see him on a team where he's not going to have the weapons he just had. I'm like, you put any quarterback on that Bama team and give them a wide receiver like we just saw last season in demigod Davante Smith, they're going to eat. You know what I'm saying? They're going to eat, they're going to eat, they're going to eat. And I'm like, I'm not trying to say he was carried by Davante Smith, but Davante Smith kind of inflated those numbers if we're being realistic. I mean, look at Kyle Trask with Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts didn't play in the bowl game, and Kyle Trask did not know what he was doing. I'm talking one of the biggest downgrades I've ever seen. I'm thinking like, yo, I want this guy on the Steelers, and then Kyle Pitts gets sit out, and I'm like, oh, maybe I don't want him on my team. Yeah, he went from a first round pick, or actually, no, I'm not even gonna say a first round pick. Actually, and Kyle Trask was another quarterback that was in the quarterback rankings. But I'm like, he went from like a first round, early second round pick to like a third round, fourth round pick. I'm like, it sucks too. This is why you get players sit out bowl games. And if I'm Kyle Trask, I would have sat out that bowl game. Knowing you were going to the NFL, it's like, what do you have to lose? What are you gonna gain by staying and playing in this game without your best weapons? So it was weird. He didn't have Tony. I don't think Grimes played. Kyle Pitts didn't play. Ain't no telling who else didn't play on that offense. It sucks. If all those guys are gone, you might as well go yourself. Because a lot of guys like to go out on top, with some integrity, and this my teammate. Man, you got to get paid at the next level. And he lost a lot of money with that game, and that sucks for him. But that's like, you put Kyle Trask on that Bama team, he's doing the same numbers, even though he already had great numbers this season, even some better than Mac Jones. But Mac Jones also had Najee Harris, so he didn't have to throw the ball as much. But I like Mac Jones. I think he'll excel in an RPO offense, kind of like that run pass option. I think it'll work for him. Get him on a team with a good running back, at least one weapon, a speed guy, and he will carry your team. It's that simple. I like Mac Jones. I think he'll do a great job. Trey Lance, on the other hand, let's get him on a spread offense, offense that's spreading around, moving around. Implement probably not too much RPO. I mean, he can probably run it, but I mean, his deep ball, like I said, his deep ball accuracy is not the best. So you really want to see him around the short and those medium passes. It'll be interesting to see what team these guys go on, but I'm a fan of both. Don't get me wrong. I think they're both great quarterbacks. They'll both be picked around that 10 to 15 range. Maybe not Trey Lance. I think Trey Lance might sneak into the top 10, but it's going to be interesting. I think the top 3 picks will be quarterbacks, so that's going to be fun. And that's all I got for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed this NFL segment. Let me know what you guys want me to talk about in the next video next Wednesday. Like I said, man, we really appreciate it. We're going to be dropping that subscriber video sometime in these next few days. I promise we're not going to not drop this video. It's coming, I promise. If I do it myself, I'll have it out. But I also plan on wanting to do it with JT, but he has been busy lately. So if he can't get it in, then I'll get it in. I'll get it out, and I'll let you guys know about that. But guys, make sure you're subscribing. Like 90% of you guys aren't watching the videos, aren't subscribed, and I'm like, you don't lose anything by not subscribing, but you do gain something. You gain some awesome knowledge, and you get to listen to my takes on sports. So I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. Till next time, guys, be sure to subscribe, like, comment. Let me know what you guys are thinking. Till next time. See you soon.